4, this is Pink Group Reading, and this is all of your week 11 learning. So once you've watched day 1, just make sure you pause the video before you're ready for day 2. So we've done this a few times. I'm going to see whether you remember what these questions are. So you're reading this week, you have a text, and then you have 4 questions. Some of them are retrieval questions, and some of them are inferential questions. So let's see, I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Can you remember what a retrieval question is? So a retrieval question is when you find key information in the text. So it's where you read the question carefully and then use keywords from the question to skim and scan your text and find some key information. Inferential question is a little bit different. It's where you have to explain your own opinion. So you don't necessarily find the answer in the text. You have to use key clues from the text to explain what you think about something. So day 1, let's read the text together. It's called A Space Adventure. One day, Jacob and Oscar had a wonderful space adventure. They climbed into their rocket and shot off into space. Jacob wanted to see aliens and monsters. Oscar wanted to discover a new planet. After a bumpy journey, they landed on a rocky purple planet and they climbed out to start to explore. Suddenly, Oscar saw some funny-looking footsteps. Being very brave, the boys decided to follow them. They walked and walked until they noticed something green and furry behind a huge space rock. What could it be? Slowly they walked up to take a peek. So a retrieval question, which is where you find the answer in the text. Let's look at one example together. What adjective has the author used to show that the boys didn't have an easy trip into space? Now, we've been doing lots of adjectives in our English work. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to see if you can remember what an adjective is. So, an adjective is something that describes a noun, and a noun was a person, place, or thing, okay? So it's a describing word. It tells you some more information about a person, a place, or a thing, okay? So the pretty flower is an example. So the flower is the noun, and then pretty tells you more information about it. So what adjective did the author use to show the boys didn't have an easy trip to space? So let's go back to the text and let's read it again together and see where it talks about their journey. So one day, Jacob and Oscar had a wonderful space adventure. They climbed into their rocket and shot off into space. Jacob wanted to see aliens and monsters. Oscar wanted to discover a new planet. After a bumpy journey, they landed on a rocky purple planet. Okay, so I found the word journey in the text, which is the same as a trip, okay? And then just before that word was the word bumpy. Okay, so bumpy is telling me more information about the journey. Okay, so that's a clue on what your answer could be. So, and then an inferential question, which is one where you have to explain your own opinion, says, what do you think happened next in the story? Okay, so we know that the boys followed the funny looking footsteps and then found a huge rock and they looked behind it. So what do you think they saw or found next in the story? Okay, slowly they walked up to take a peek. So what could happen? Oh, they noticed something green and furry. What could it be? Do you think that they saw a giant alien? Do you think that there were some other people hiding behind the rock? What do you think? This is all about your own opinion. So moving on to day 2. Marvelous moon tours. Have you ever dreamt about riding in a rocket and flying to the moon? Well, marvelous moon tours could now make your dreams come true. For the tiny price of £13,000, you can book your place on a shuttle and become a real-life astronaut. Before your space trip, you will need to take part in an exciting week of astronaut training. Then it is time to fasten your seatbelts for your once-in-a-lifetime journey into outer space. Look at our website and book your space holiday today. So we're just going to be looking at inferential questions now because I think you're going to be able to do all the retrieval questions easily on your own. So this inferential question says, why do you think people who book a moon tour have to do a week of training? Okay, so you know that once you enter space, it's quite a long journey, probably quite a difficult journey. So why do you think they have to do a whole week of training? Do you think it's because it's dangerous in space? Do you think many things could go wrong? So what do you think? You have to talk about your own opinion. Moving on to day 3. Today we're reading a text called The Planet Zog. Okay, so what does it look like? The planet Zog is a gigantic brown planet that floats 400 million light years away from Earth. The planet's surface is made of chocolate and lumpy cream cheese. Who lives there? The creatures that live on Zog are called Zargals. They are strange, furry aliens with 9 eyes, a lion's mane and a horse's tail. They also have a horn just like a unicorn, right in the middle of their fluffy faces. What odd-looking monsters they are! Would you like to visit the planet Zog? So your inferential question today says, would you like to visit planet Zog? Why or why not? Okay, so think about all the things you've learned about the planet, about the Zargals that live there, about how far away it is, about what it's made of, and would you like to go there? If you would, why would you like to go? If you wouldn't, why wouldn't you like to go? Okay, so is it because there's amazing aliens there to visit? That could be a reason why you want to go. Or you might not want to go there because it would take too long because it's 400 million light years away. So have a little think. Would you like to go or wouldn't you like to go? Moving on to day 4, and your learning today is all about a man called Buzz Aldrin. Okay, so it says, who is Buzz Aldrin? Edwin Buzz Aldrin was born on the 20th of January 1930 in America. When he was younger, his sister called him Buzz. People have continued to call him this throughout his life. What is he famous for? Well, in 1969, along with 2 other astronauts, Buzz travelled on a spacecraft called Apollo 11. The shuttle landed and Buzz Aldrin became the second person to walk on the moon. The walk was shown on live television and was watched by 600 million people all over the world. Buzz spent over 2 hours outside of the spacecraft and collected around 18 kilograms of moon rocks. Okay, so your inferential question today says, why do you think so many people watched the moon landing? So think about who has been to the moon before. Is it something that's really popular to do? And why do you think that when Buzz Aldrin went in 1969, so many people watched it? Okay, was it because not many people had ever been to the moon before? Okay, why do you think? Moving on to day 5 learning. Today you're learning about the Isle of Coll. Okay, Coll is an island just off the coast of Scotland. It is known for its beautiful sandy beaches and it is a favourite place to go on holiday for people who love peace and quiet and enjoy nature. You can get to Coll by ferry once per day or by plane on Mondays and Wednesdays, but bad weather sometimes means that ferries and planes are cancelled. There are only 2 main roads on the Isle of Coll and they do not have street lights at night. As there are only 195 people living on the Isle of Coll, the roads are not very busy. Lots of people get around by walking or cycling and there are no buses or trains on the island. So your inferential question today says, why might there be no buses or trains on the island? So you need to think about what we've just read, think about the size of the island, think about the people that live there, okay, think about how many roads are on the island, and you need to say your opinion on why you think there are no buses or trains. So for example, it could be because it's so quiet, so there are not many people there, they don't need lots of buses or trains, they can get around just by walking or cycling, it said. Okay, so have a little think, what could you say for that one? Good luck with the rest of your learning.